I inherited $5 million and told no one. I asked my brother for $20 to see what he'd say, and he laughed in my face. Subscribe, say hi in the comments, and tell us your city or country. Let's get into today's story. The lawyer's voice crackled through my phone at 6:47 a.m. on a Tuesday. Mr. Marcus Williams? This is attorney Patricia Henderson. I need to discuss your grandmother's estate. My heart stopped. Grandma Rose had passed 3 months ago, and I'd been drowning in grief ever since. She'd raised me when my parents abandoned us, teaching me dignity in our cramped South Side Chicago apartment. Your grandmother left specific instructions, Patricia continued. The estate is valued at $5.2 million. Everything goes to you. The phone nearly slipped from my hands. $5 million? Grandma Rose worked doubles at the hospital laundry for 40 years, lived off beans and rice most nights. How? She invested wisely in the 70s, Mr. Williams. Small amounts in companies that became giants. She wanted you to have security. My eyes burned with tears. She'd worn the same 3 dresses for years while building my future. There's one condition, Patricia added. You cannot tell anyone for 6 months. She wanted you to see people's true colors first. Those words echoed in my skull. My younger brother Tell had been distant since the funeral, barely returning calls. My girlfriend Shanice kept hinting about moving in together. My best friend Damon constantly borrowed money. Grandma's wisdom whispered from beyond, "Baby, money shows you who folks really are." That weekend, I decided to test her theory. I'd ask each person in my life for $20 and watch what happened. Starting with Tell, the brother I'd protected my whole life. Tell lived in a luxury apartment in Lincoln Park, a neighborhood I couldn't afford. His tech job paid 6 figures, while I worked construction making barely $40,000 a year. I'd helped raise him after Grandma took us in, made sure he stayed in school, protected him from neighborhood trouble. He owed me his success. I knocked on his polished door Sunday afternoon. He answered in designer sweats, holding a craft beer. "Marcus, what are you doing here?" No hug. No smile. Just mild annoyance crossing his face. "Hey, man. I'm in a tight spot. Car broke down, and the mechanic wants $200 up front. I just need $20 till payday. I'll get you back Friday." It was a lie, but I needed to know. Tell's expression shifted from annoyance to something uglier, disgust. "Seriously? You came all the way here to beg for money?" He laughed, actually laughed, a sharp bark that cut through me. "Man, you're 32 years old. When you gonna get your life together?" My hands clenched. "I just need $20, T. And I just need you to stop being a broke burden," he shot back. "I worked hard for what I got. Not my fault you're still laying bricks like a nobody. Maybe if you'd stayed in school instead of playing street hero, you'd have something." He started closing the door. "I got company coming. Figure it out yourself." The door slammed in my face. I stood there, stunned, remembering the 14-year-old kid I'd walked home from school every day, the teenager I'd bought books for with money I didn't have. Everything became clear. I needed to see if Tell was an anomaly or a pattern. That evening, I drove to Shanice's place in Hyde Park. We'd been dating 8 months, and she'd been pressuring me about commitment. "When are we getting serious, Marcus? When are you gonna step up?" She answered the door in a silk robe, her phone glued to her hand. Behind her, I spotted designer shopping bags covering her couch. "Baby, I wasn't expecting you." She kissed my cheek, distracted, scrolling through Instagram. "Hey, Sean. I need a favor. My car broke down." "Yeah, I saw your text," she interrupted, not looking up. "That's tough, babe. Could you spot me 20 until Friday? I got the mechanic estimate, but I'm short till payday." I watched her carefully. She finally looked up, and something cold flashed across her face. $20? "Marcus, I just spent $300 on these shoes." She gestured at red-bottomed heels peeking from a bag. "Why don't you have $20? You work full-time. Things have been tight. Things are always tight with you. She threw her phone on the couch. I'm 28 years old, Marcus. I need a man who has his act together. My friends are dating lawyers, doctors, entrepreneurs. I'm out here with a construction worker who can't even afford $20. Her voice dripped with contempt. Maybe this isn't working. So that's a no. She crossed her arms. That's a wake up and do better. I'm not your bank, Marcus. I'm supposed to be your girlfriend, but honestly, I'm tired of slumming it. I left without another word, her voice trailing behind me. Text me when you get your life together. 2 down. 1 to go. Damon and I went back 20 years. Same block, same struggles, same dreams of getting out. He'd asked me for money at least 30 times in the past year. Small amounts, 40 here, 60 there. I'd given it every time because that's what brothers do. He'd paid me back maybe twice. I found him at Murphy's bar on Wednesday, shooting pool with some guys I didn't recognize. Let me holler at you real quick. He broke from the group, greeting me with our old handshake. This was different. Damon was my day one. Surely this would go differently. What's good, Marcus? Yo, I need a favor, man. Car situation. Can you spot me 20 till Friday? Damon's face changed instantly, like a switch flipped. Man, you know I'm tight right now. Plus, you remember that 60 I lent you last month? He'd never lent me anything. This was a flat lie. You never. Marcus, I'm tired of this. He cut me off, voice rising so his friends could hear. Every time I turn around, you got your hand out. What happened to that pride Grandma Rose taught you? She'd be disappointed seeing you like this, begging for change. My blood went cold. What did you just say? You heard me. He stepped closer, performing now. You walking around here broke, asking everybody for help. When you gonna be the friend who gives instead of takes? I'm trying to level up, and you're dragging me down with your poverty mentality. He turned back to his game. I can't help you, man. I got my own problems. I stood there, memories flooding back, the times I'd covered his rent, bailed him out of situations, vouched for him when nobody else would. The test was complete. 3 people I'd loved, trusted, sacrificed for. 3 rejections, 3 humiliations. Grandma Rose had been right about everything. I drove home in silence, my mind spinning. Back in my studio apartment, I opened my laptop and started writing everything down. Every interaction, every word, every facial expression. Patricia Henderson had said 6 months of silence. That gave me time to plan. My phone buzzed. Yo, I was harsh earlier. You good though, right? No apology. No offer of help. Just checking if I was okay enough that he wouldn't feel guilty. I didn't respond. Another text. Shanice. Look, I didn't mean to be mean. I just want better for US. Translation. Better for her. I archived the message. Nothing from Damon. Of course not. I looked around my tiny apartment, the place I'd moved to keep expenses low, saving every dollar I could. The furniture from thrift stores. The TV I'd owned for 8 years. I'd lived humbly while Tell flaunted wealth, while Shanice demanded luxury, while Damon borrowed and never returned. A memory surfaced. Grandma Rose's last coherent day. We'd sat in her hospice room, and she'd gripped my hand with surprising strength. Marcus, baby, listen to me. I made sure you'd be okay. But don't tell nobody nothing. Let 'em show you who they really are first. People love you different when they think you got nothing to offer. I'd thought she was confused from the medication. Now I understood. It was the clearest she'd ever been. I pulled out the documents Patricia had given me. $5.2 million. Invested across stocks, bonds, and 3 rental properties in neighborhoods that had gentrified. Grandma Rose, who'd cleaned hospital linens for 40 years, had built an empire in silence. She'd known exactly what she was doing. And now, So did I. I decided to let them dig their holes deeper. Thursday morning, I called in sick to work, something I never did. I needed time to process, to plan. My supervisor, Big Tony, was concerned. You never take sick days, Marcus. You all right? Just need a mental health day, Tony. Take 2 if you need 'em. You're one of my best guys. Funny how my boss showed more care than my own blood. I spent the day researching, learning about the inheritance, understanding the properties. One was in Tell's neighborhood, a brownstone worth $1.2 million that Grandma had bought for $80,000 in 1989. The irony was delicious. Friday, I cashed my paycheck and went back to Tell's building. Not to his apartment, to the leasing office. The property manager, Mrs. Chen, greeted me warmly. Can I help you? I'm interested in purchasing the building. Her eyebrows shot up. I wasn't dressed like money. My financial advisor will be contacting you. Just wanted to see it in person first. I handed her Patricia Henderson's card. She'll provide proof of funds. Mrs. Chen's demeanor shifted instantly, the way people's always did when they smelled money. Of course, Mr. Williams. We'd be honored to work with you. I toured the building, taking notes. Tell's lease was up in 3 months. Perfect timing. That evening, Tell called again. Yo, I felt bad about Sunday. You still need that money. 5 days later, after I'd supposedly solved my problem. This wasn't generosity, it was guilt management. Nah, man. I figured it out. Oh. Cool. Hey, we should grab dinner soon. Been too long. Yeah, been real long. The wheels were in motion. Shanice posted on Instagram Saturday morning, ladies, know your worth. Don't settle for less than you deserve. The photo showed her at some upscale brunch spot, mimosas and overpriced avocado toast, tagged with 3 of her girlfriends. The comments were full of Yas Queen, and period. I screenshot it. Documentation. She texted me Friday night, I miss you, baby. Let's talk. I'd left her on read. Sunday afternoon, she called. I answered. Marcus, why are you ignoring me? Been busy, Sean. Doing what? You're always busy being broke. There it was again, that contempt she couldn't quite hide. Look, I've been thinking. Maybe we rushed into this. Maybe you need time to work on yourself, get your finances together, become the man I need you to be. The man you need. Yeah. Like, I'm not trying to hurt you, but I need security. I need someone who can take me places, do things. You're a good guy, Marcus, but good doesn't pay bills. I let the silence hang. Are you even listening? She snapped. I hear you perfectly, Shanice. You need someone with money. I need someone with ambition. Someone who wants more than a studio apartment and a beat-up car. My friend Tasha's boyfriend just bought her a Lexus. What have you bought me? My time. My attention. My loyalty. She laughed. Boy, buy. Time don't buy designer bags. She paused, then her voice turned sweet. But look, I'm willing to give you another chance. Get yourself together in the next few months. Show me you're serious about leveling up, and we can try again. Appreciate the offer, Shanice. She heard something in my tone. What's that supposed to mean? Means I'll think about it. I hung up and blocked her number. Monday morning, Damon showed up at my job site. I was surprised. He'd never visited me at work in 5 years. He looked rough, nervous energy radiating off him. Marcus, man, we need to talk. I set down my tools. What's up? Look, I was wrong Wednesday night. I was drunk, showing off for them dudes. You know how it is. He shifted his weight, not meeting my eyes. You my boy. We been through everything together. So, I actually need to ask you something. Here it came. Remember them cats I was shooting pool with? They got an opportunity. Investment thing. Crypto-related. They need 20 people putting in 500 each, and the returns are crazy. Like, we could turn 500 into 5,000 in a month. I stared at him. You couldn't give me $20, but now you're asking me for 500. It's not like that. This is an investment, Marcus. This is how we get out the struggle together. Brothers building wealth, like it should be. He grabbed my shoulder. I'm bringing this to you because you my day one. I could have asked anybody, but I'm asking you. How many other people you already ask? His face flickered. What? How many people said no before you came to me? Man, why you being like this? I'm trying to put you on to something. His voice rose, drawing attention from other workers. This is why you stay broke, Marcus. Opportunity knocking and you too scared to answer. Big Tony walked over. Everything all right here? Yeah, my friend was just leaving. Damon's expression turned ugly. Friend? You act like you don't even know me. Grandma Rose ain't raised you to be like this, cold-hearted and selfish. Don't you ever say her name again. That evening, I met with Patricia Henderson at her downtown office. The view overlooked the Chicago River, the city lights reflecting off the water. She poured me whiskey, expensive stuff I'd never tasted. Your grandmother was remarkable, Marcus. Patricia pulled out a thick folder. She started coming to me in 2015. Said she wanted to make sure everything was airtight. She knew she didn't have much time left. Why didn't she tell me? Because she wanted you to see them clearly. Patricia opened the folder, revealing photos, surveillance photos. Tell at expensive restaurants. Shanice shopping on Michigan Avenue. Damon at a casino, dropping money on blackjack. She hired a private investigator for the last 2 years. She knew exactly who they were. My hands trembled. She was protecting me. She was giving you knowledge. Look at these. More photos. Tell laughing with colleagues, talking about his broke brother who never amounted to anything. Shanice telling friends she was dating down temporarily until something better came along. Damon at a bar, running the same investment scam on 3 different people. She saw all this. Patricia nodded. She told me, my baby has a good heart. Too good. People gonna try to use him. But when he has money, he needs to know who loved him broke and who just loves his wallet. That's why the 6-month rule. That's why the test. She was always 10 steps ahead. She was a queen, Marcus. And she raised a king. Patricia slid papers across the desk. Here's what you need to know about your properties, your investments, everything. You have financial freedom now. The question is, what are you going to do with it? I thought about Tell's laugh, Shanice's contempt, Damon's exploitation. I'm going to show them exactly who I am. 3 months passed. I kept working construction, kept living in my studio, kept playing broke. But behind the scenes, I was making moves. I purchased Tell's building through an LLC. I invested in 3 startups. I established a scholarship fund in Grandma Rose's name. December rolled around, 6 months since the inheritance. 6 months since the test. Time to graduate. I invited everyone to what I called a Grandma Rose memorial dinner. Neutral territory, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse downtown. Expensive enough to make a statement. I made reservations for 8, me, Tell, Shanice, Damon, Patricia Henderson, and 3 empty seats. They all showed up, confused but curious. Tell wore Gucci. Shanice wore red bottoms. Damon wore borrowed swagger. They didn't know why I'd called this dinner, but free steak was free steak. Thanks for coming, I started, standing at the head of the table. Patricia sat to my right, a knowing smile on her face. I wanted to gather everyone important to talk about Grandma Rose's legacy. That's beautiful, man, Damon said, already eyeing the menu. She was special. She really was, Shanice added. I wish I'd known her better. She'd met Grandma twice, spent both visits on her phone. Tell said nothing, checking his watch. Grandma taught me a lot of lessons, I continued. But the most important one came after she died. She taught me that people show you who they really are when they think you have nothing to offer them. The table went quiet. 6 months ago, I inherited $5.2 million from Grandma Rose. You could hear a pin drop. 3 faces went pale, then red, then calculating. I watched the math happen in their eyes, every rejection, every insult, every moment of contempt replaying. The will had one condition: tell nobody for 6 months. Let them reveal themselves first. Tell found his voice first. Marcus, man, I asked you for $20. I cut him off. You laughed in my face. You called me a broke burden. You said Grandma would be disappointed in me. I pulled out my phone, pulled up the surveillance photos. But here's what Grandma actually thought. I showed him the photos of himself, the transcripts of conversations where he'd mocked me to colleagues, called me dead weight, said he wished we weren't related. His face crumbled. I didn't mean, those were jokes. You're living in a building I now own. Tell. Your lease is up January 15th. I'm not renewing it. I slid the eviction notice across the table. Legal, proper, and devastating. Shanice grabbed my arm. Baby, wait, let me explain. You told me good doesn't pay bills. You said you were slumming it. You told your friends I was temporary until something better came along. I pulled away from her touch. I heard everything you said at that brunch. The one where you posted about knowing your worth. I was just venting. Girls talk, Marcus. It didn't mean anything. It meant everything, Shanice. It showed me exactly what I was worth to you, nothing. I pulled out a check, placed it in front of her. $20. Here's what you wouldn't give me. Consider it a severance package. She stared at it, tears running down her face, mascara streaking. The check sat there like an accusation. Damon stood up. Bro, this is crazy. We family. Family doesn't run scams. Family doesn't exploit. Family doesn't use Grandma's name to manipulate. I pulled out the police report. That crypto scheme? It's being investigated. Your partners are being questioned. I gave the SEC everything. His face went from red to white. You snitched. I protected people from a con artist. The restaurant had gone completely silent. Other diners were watching now, sensing the drama. A manager hovered nearby, uncertain whether to intervene. Marcus, please, Tell tried again. I'm your brother. We can fix this. You stopped being my brother when you slammed that door in my face. When you mocked the man who raised you, protected you, sacrificed for you. I stood up, and Patricia stood with me. I have a new family now. People who loved Grandma Rose, who understand what real loyalty means. The 3 empty seats? They were for the people who'd helped me these past months. Big Tony, who'd given me time off without judgment. Mrs. Patterson from my building, who'd brought me dinner when I looked tired. Jerome, the cashier at the corner store who'd spotted me a coffee when I was short once. Real people. Real kindness. You had everything, Shani sobbed. Why didn't you tell us? Because Grandma wanted me to see the truth. And she was right. Money doesn't change people. It reveals them. I looked at each of them. You all showed me exactly who you are. Tell, you're a coward who only respects people with status. Shanice, you're a user who measures love by price tags. Damon, you're a scammer who preys on anyone desperate enough to trust you. That's not fair. Damon shouted. You don't know what I've been through. I know exactly what you've been through because I was there. My voice cracked with emotion. I was there when your mom kicked you out. I was there when you needed a place to stay. I was there for everything, and you paid me back by calling me broke and bringing Grandma's name into your con game. Patricia put a hand on my shoulder, steadying me. The truth hurt even though it needed to be said. This dinner is over, I said quietly. Consider yourselves uninvited from my life. I walked out of that restaurant with Patricia, leaving them at the table with uneaten steaks and shattered illusions. The cold December air hit my face, and for the first time in 6 months, I felt free. My phone blew up immediately. Texts, calls, voicemails. Tell begging. Shanice crying. Damon threatening. I blocked all 3 numbers. Patricia walked me to my car, not the beat-up Honda they knew, but the Mercedes I'd bought last month and kept in a private garage. Your grandmother would be so proud of you, Marcus. I wish she could have seen this. Baby, she saw everything, Patricia said in a voice so much like Grandma Rose's that I had to smile. She knew exactly how this would play out. She knew you'd stand tall. I drove to Grandma's grave that night. Fresh flowers already waited there. Patricia had sent them. I sat in the cold, talking to her like I always had. You were right, Grandma. About everything. They showed me who they were, and I finally believed them. The wind picked up, rustling the trees. I'm going to use this money the way you would have wanted. I'm starting that scholarship fund tomorrow. I'm investing in the neighborhood. I'm helping people who actually need it, not people who just want it. A year later, I'm living in a penthouse in Grandma's old neighborhood, now revitalized partly through my investments. The scholarship fund has sent 12 kids to college. I'm dating someone, Keisha, a teacher who didn't know about my money until month 4 and didn't care even after finding out. Tel sent me a message last week from his new apartment in a cheaper neighborhood. I get it now. I'm sorry. Too little. Too late. Comment everyone deserves respect if you can't stand people like Tel, Shanice, and Damon who only value you for what you can give them. Hit subscribe if you believe loyalty matters more than money. Only users and manipulators won't. Grandma Rose gave me more than money. She gave me clarity. And that's worth more than $5 million could ever be.